Coming up, more rain is in the forecast as Beryl moves to the southeast.
And we have an exclusive video of the fire off of St. Augustine Road. Your News Valdosta starts now. Welcome to News Valdosta. I'm Patricia Magnan.
And I'm Jacob McWhorter. After ruining the Memorial Day plans along the Florida and Georgia Atlantic coast, the remnants of Tropical Storm Beryl are forecast to bring more rains to the Carolinas. Beryl made landfall just after midnight Sunday near Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Here you can see the aftermath of the heavy rains and strong winds. The area received as much as 6 inches of rain. The storm caused Jacksonville Mayor Alvin Brown to cancel all Memorial Day plans, and all bus routes to area beaches were suspended. At least 12 flights were scheduled to leave Jacksonville and were canceled Monday. The winds, with gusts of over 60 miles per hour, damaged hundreds of trees, downed power lines, and damaged roofs. Beryl is now classified as a tropical depression.
A residential fire destroyed a trailer off of St. Augustine Road on Friday. News Valdosta's Stephen Cook was on the scene to report.
This past Friday at 2:19 p.m., a fire was reported at 225 North St. Augustine Road. Captain Brian Boutwell led the scene with engines from stations 1, 4, and 6, all helping to douse the blaze. Neighbor Joe Webb was the one who reported the blaze after he approached the place of residence, concerned for his neighbor's well-being. Valdosta Fire Department arrived on the scene within 3 minutes. It is believed that the fire began on the east side of the trailer and the wind picked up and spread the flames. Police also responded to control traffic, which was backed up on the north side of St. Augustine. The American Red Cross is aiding the resident who escaped with few injuries. The fire is presumed to be an accident with no foul play. As you can see, the Valdosta City Fire Department is still working to control the blaze. With News Valdosta, I'm Stephen Cook.
Governor Nathan Deal has enacted a law that may overwhelm the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Deal claims that this new law will save the state tens of millions of dollars on correctional fees. The problem is that the GBI Crime Lab may now face an overwhelming amount of court causes. The law is changing how some small drugs cases are being handled and keeping more individuals out of jail.
A new problem for computer users has been just discovered. Kaspersky Labs, the cyber defense company that discovered the Stuxnet worm and Dooku, was found what may be the most complex cyber weapon found to date. It's called Flame. It has 20 codes, twice as many as Stuxnet, making it harder to remove. No one knows what its function is, but the defense teams are worried that there could be worse cyber weapons yet to be discovered.
During this Memorial Day weekend, fallen sailor Joseph Adam McSween had his name honored with a memorial service. News Valdosta Alison Brooke speaks with those closest to him.
Dedicating 7 years of his life to the United States Navy, Petty Officer First Class Andrew McSween finally received a memorial service at his high school alma mater, Georgia Christian School, this past Saturday.
It took some time, okay, but not a lot of time. It wasn't all-consuming, but most everyone I asked was very cooperative, wanted to help, so it was actually not a real task.
He was the youngest of my 4 children. I had 3 boys and a girl, and he was a special young man from the moment he was born. I knew he was going to do great things.
After he gave 5 years of his life serving our country, McSween died on April 6, 2007 from enemy action while conducting combat operations near Kirkuk, Iraq. It took his mother, Florence McSween, 4 years to get the memorial in his honor authorized.
They were doing exactly what they love to do, which is sort of helping out a nation that was sort of trying to promote life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in their own country.
The intersection of North Valdosta Road and Veterans Memorial Parkway has been changed to Navy EOD1 Adam McSween Memorial Intersection.
And I just know Adam is looking down with pride and smiling and saying, "You go, Mom."
A mother finally got her wishes answered, and her son got the recognition he truly deserves. With the News Valdosta, I'm Alison Brooke.
Coming up, the November ballot is set for Lowndes County.
And the government wants more money for you to fly in airplanes. Stay with us.
Welcome back to News Valdosta. Mitt Romney is expected to formally clinch the Republican nomination today when Texans go to the polls.
Here in Valdosta, qualifying has ended for those seeking public office in the coming November election. One notable local race pits Chris Pine against J.D. Yeager in the contest for Lowndes County Sheriff. Both Lowndes County Commissioner Super Districts 4 and 5 will have 4 candidates battling for those positions. If you'd like to vote this election season but have yet to register, registration ends July 2nd. You can register in person at the Lowndes County Board of Elections office.
The Valdosta City Schools Board of Education continues to delay the preservation of the historical Pinevale Learning Center gymnasium. News Valdosta's Kam Copeland has more.
The Valdosta City Schools Board of Education is on schedule to demolish the current Pinevale Learning Center and build a new Pinevale Elementary School during the beginning of July. As the building housed Pinevale High School during the 1950s and 60s, the Board of Education agreed to preserve the building for the purpose of retaining the legacy and history of the Pinevale Alumni Association. Due to recent budget cuts, the Board of Education has put the preservation of the gymnasium on hold, as the interim superintendent cannot provide a timeline as to when the gymnasium will be preserved. The delaying of the preservation of the gymnasium has since upset many alums and board members.
We wanted to make sure that the open line of communication was kept with them so that they would know that it was still on our radar, but it would not be completed at the same time that the elementary school was going to be completed.
Members of the Board of Education also suggested that they could discuss the phases of preservation and create a fundraising scheme to preserve the school in the future. Nonetheless, this has provoked some board members and alums who do not wish to pressure the people who were promised that their school would be preserved for money. According to board member Warren Lee, the Board of Education will do exactly what they promised to do as long as he sits on it. The Pinevale High School alum continue to work patiently and persistently to get their old high school gymnasium preserved. With News Valdosta, I'm Kam Copeland.
According to the Georgia State Patrol, 10 people have died over this past holiday weekend, which is fewer than 19 that died last year's Memorial Day travels. The travel period started this past Friday and ended midnight on Monday.
VSU's own provost and vice president, Dr. Phil Guttner, passed away last week. There will be a memorial held for him at 4:30 on Wednesday at the Student Union Theater. The Valdosta State Foundation has initiated a scholarship fund in his name. To find out more about the fund or to donate, contact the VSU Foundation.
A 240-pound Athens woman faces charges for shoplifting almost $90 worth of groceries from a Piggly Wiggly store. Police say Lunicia Appling was seen putting various items in her canvas bag, including beer, cheese, bacon, and chicken wings. When she went to check out, she placed only one item on the conveyor. Police say she then pepper sprayed several employees when they tried to stop her. When the cops finally caught up with her, she threatened them with the pepper spray as well. She faces felony shoplifting, disorderly conduct, obstruction, aggravated assault, and simple battery charges. She's also banned from any Piggly Wiggly store for the next 2 years.
At a time when airlines seem to be adding extra charges for everything from seats to snacks, there's another fee in the works. This time, it's a transportation security officials who want you to pay more.
Take two things that many travelers love to hate: the TSA and ticket fees. Now add them together.
What is it that's prompting them to just ask for more money?
The agency, backed by Democrats in the Senate, wants to increase the security fee everyone pays with a ticket, from $2.50 a flight to $5 per one-way ticket, $10 round trip.
10's kind of pushing it to a limit. I mean, I guess it's only $5 more, but I'm wondering, how that fits in with they already have a budget.
TSA's budget, like many in Washington, is set to be cut. And the agency says boosting this fee would help cover the increasing price of security, like those costly scanners. The fee hasn't been hiked in 10 years.
Straight ahead. Thank you.
But a powerful lobby is pushing against it. Airlines. They don't want the cost shifted onto their customers.
Air security is a national security function, and it's something that all of us need to be behind as Americans, and the government should be picking up the cost of that.
Many travelers we talked to didn't mind.
I would say it's like using a toll road. If you use a toll road, you pay the toll.
As long as it makes it secure.
But they want to know it's money well spent.
Does increasing the fee increase the level of security TSA can provide?
It means that TSA's budget will be a little less likely to get cut just to save money in the overall deficit reduction effort. So in that regard, it's useful. It's also useful if you can tell where the benefits go for a particular program, then the people who get the benefits generally should pay for it.
Coming up, bad kids get a second chance in Bibb County.
And some local thrift stores offer some great finds. Stay with us.
Welcome back to News Valdosta. I'm Patricia Magnan.
And I'm Jacob McWhorter. A new discipline protocol is being set up in Bibb County aimed at keeping kids out of juvenile court and in the classroom. The protocol would send kids who get caught fighting or acting up in class to an in-school committee that would determine if any other discipline is required. The aim of the protocol is to separate first-time offenders from the more dangerous repeat offenders. On average, 600 kids from the Bibb County school system get sent to juvenile court per year, many of whom are first offenders.
Analysts had us bracing for it. $5 for a gallon of gasoline. Thankfully, it hasn't happened yet. Alison Kozak to tell us why.
Gas prices have been moving lower, and they most likely will move even lower than where they are now, but not by much, because what happens after Memorial Day is refineries switch to a summer blend of gas. It's cleaner, but it's more expensive to produce. Still, with the national average for a gallon of gas sitting at $3.64, it is still 30 cents lower than where we were a year ago. All right, so why are we seeing gas prices lower? Well, part of it is because tensions with Iran have eased. You'll remember early last year, Iran was threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz. That's a main supply route for 20% of the world's oil. So that put a fear premium on oil, which is a big component of gas prices. That raised gas prices last year. But now that that fear is gone, you're seeing gas prices go lower. Also, supplies are more plentiful. Oil and gas supplies are actually at their highest levels since 1990. And finally, the third reason you're seeing gas prices lower is because of the economy. Here in the U.S., you're seeing the momentum for the jobs recovery slow down. Also, GDP, economic growth here in the U.S. is also expected to slow down as well. And it's not just here in the U.S., overseas. In Europe, at least 12 countries in Europe are falling into a recession. So that expectation of these economies globally slowing is creating the expectation that demand for gas and oil will also slow. So what you see is a trade-off, lower gas prices for weaker economies. I'm Alison Cossack in New York.
UGA President Michael Adams is in Destin, Florida for SEC meetings until Friday. The meetings concern decisions for a football playoff to crown the national champions. Adams' goal is to keep the Bulls alive and simply incorporate a 4 or 8 team playoff. If the presidents of the SEC universities reach an agreement, then the SEC will carry its position to the National BCS conference in June.
Wild Adventure unveiled a new animal show last week in their new constructed amphitheater. The new show includes American alligators, an albino Burmese plymouth, and a Chilean rose tarantula. The show, entitled Creature Feature Extremes, allows visitors to get up close and personal with some of the nature's most feared animals. For showtimes, visit the Wild Adventures website.
Bargain hunting for the best deals in Valdosta? Try some of the local consignment shops and thrift stores. News Valdosta's Alison Brooke investigates some local favorites.
Thrift stores and consignment shops have become a staple in Valdosta for the young and old alike to find unique vintage items at a great price.
We had the treasure box since 2001. We buy furniture, high quality furniture, flower arrangement, pictures, anything you need for a house.
There are stores with new and used items at discounted prices, varying from clothing, jewelry, home decor, and anything else you can think of. Many of these items have little to no wear and tear and look brand new.
We help in a lot of different situations. If someone is burnt out and has need for furnishings and clothing, we help with that.
For some eccentric and well-priced finds, head to downtown Valdosta to check out one of the many consignment shops in the area. With News Valdosta, I'm Alison Brooke.
Thanks for watching News Valdosta. I'm Patricia Magnan.
And I'm Jacob McWhorter. We'll see you next time.